Hello, this is Mike from Capdov, and today we're going to begin a series on Agile Leadership. This video is going to be an introduction to some of the history and background, really kind of where we're all coming from, or a lot of us are coming from in the West. Now, let's start first with going back in time to the industrial era. Now, back in the 1700s, suppose you needed a new carriage. Now you go and find a carriage maker, and that carriage maker would know how to make you an awesome carriage, and they probably did this throughout most of their life. They may have had a small team, maybe some apprentices, but they were pretty much, a craftsman who continually evolved and became better at what they did. Now, the change though, or the challenge becomes when I want, let's say 500 carriages, and I want them all exactly the same. That's where that model of production, that craftsman approach, doesn't really work. So the industrial age approaches, what they did was they would look at what that craftsman did and decompose it into the various steps that you would need to do to build the product. Now, once I've done that, I create standard ways of achieving each one of those steps, hire people, train them, and start production. Now from this, as you can imagine, you are able to increase production and able to get to standard or uniform output. So uniform output, standard ways of delivering that, and away I go into massive production. Now, this worked well, and as we all know, there's massive change from the Industrial Revolution, and it was very beneficial, really, in many ways, right? We're able to increase the productivity of, many of the countries in the West. Now, where it starts to break down is when you start to look at variability, and variability from, if you think about it, what happened to Henry Ford. As soon as customers want some other product and they no longer want your black Model T, then you have a breakdown because everything you set up, your entire production system, is based on a premise that the world outside is going to stay static and that there aren't going to be new ways of working. And because really I've come up with the best way of doing this as a scientific manager. This, of course, leads us to where we are today. This approach to leadership management is very much at odds with what Agile leadership needs to look like. Agile leadership, in fact, needs to be able to encourage everyone at every level to be able to make decisions, to actually have a brain, but looking to not only have a brain, but also improve the way they work. And to do that, I'm actually wanting to increase communication and collaboration. I want to empower each level in my organization to be able to make the decisions they need to make. And I want them to be continually looking to get better. And this is something that helps differentiate me in the marketplace, but it also helps me and my whole team be able to adjust when the world changes outside, when customers ask for something new, or a competitor finds a better way of delivering much faster than we thought was possible before. So what you want in Agile leadership is not command and control. That command and control world is really a world set up for stasis. It assumes that variability and change in the world is not going to happen. That the scientific manager has created the perfect model of production. Really, my sole focus now needs to be looking down and ensuring that everybody's working hard. This isn't going to cut it in today's world. We all know that the change is happening, and there's massive change happening out there with technology, with business models, with change in where growth is happening in the world today. So as this series goes on, we're going to talk a bit more and more about what Agile leadership needs to look like and what you as an Agile leader should need to start doing to enable your teams to be successful. Thank you for watching Capdov today. Please remember to subscribe, like, and add a comment below.